and y'all, we got it. Scoop, 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 and y'all, we got it.
That's how we go. This is how it games the best pro. That's how it go. This is how it games the best pro. That's how it go. This is how it games the best pro. That's how it go. This is how it games the best pro. And now, get ready for Kendrick Haskins and Lloyd Spence, the press and the pros. Let's go.
And there it is. A new era has begun. A new era has begun.
The intro was dope.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I'll tell production, and they'll send you over a Zelle or something. You just send that back, and we good. Lloyd Spence, Kendrick Haskins. A new show has emerged. It has emerged for one reason and one reason only. He and I love the NBA a lot. And we like talking about the NBA a lot. So we figured let's just talk about it.
I mean, in the area that I live in, I'm pretty sure in your area too, it's mostly about college sports all the time. So
Absolutely.
We're the rare person around here that loves the NBA. Pretty much I love it more than college basketball, if I'm being perfectly honest.
If I'm being honest, I do. 100%. I for sure fell in love with it before I fell in love with college basketball, for sure. I was a Magic Johnson fan long before I was a U.S. Reed fan, so or Darryl Griffith fan. So
it was Magic. I can remember the NBA Finals between the Lakers and the Sixers. Dr. J, I remember being mad because I was rooting for Magic, and the Sixers won that finals. And so those are my first memories. And I remember, I think I was 10, 11 years old when Magic hit the baby hook to beat the Celtics in the finals. I remember staying up. I remember being on the couch, and I remember my mother just happened to come in the family room while I'm sitting up watching TV. Way later than I probably should have been up, but it was the summer, so it was all good.
Right. That was the best thing about the finals, because you could stay up as late as you wanted without any consequence. So that was one. I think that might be one of the reasons why I fell in love with basketball so much, because I could stay up and watch it as long as I wanted to.
Right.
But same here, same memories. I remember. Matter of fact, the moment I fell in love with the Lakers is I remember the play. Magic came down, and they play it all the time. He had the ball in his right hand. He did a weird little thing, holding the ball like he was going to throw it left, and dished it back right. And I was like, I don't know who that man is, but I am his fan for life.
Right.
If he can make a ball do that, I'm his fan for life.
Because you and I are relatively the same age. As a kid, just getting introduced to the game, and you see him Magic. I mean, there's no way you could not fall in love with Magic. The way he played the game. It was totally different than anything you've ever seen, and still, he does stuff that you don't see today. I mean, the closest person is probably LeBron, but like you see flashes of Magic, and like I see it in Ja. We used to talk about Ja before the show. He can throw some passes like that sometimes too. So the Showtime Lakers, that was must see TV at a time when the NBA only came on like on Sunday afternoon, and then and then the playoffs.
Right. It was crazy. But he, I mean, we talk about all the time in sports and amongst journalists, the impact of Magic Johnson probably won't be as respected as it should until after he's gone, because what you're seeing now in basketball is because of Magic and Bird.
Right.
They changed what importance the NBA had on the global mind. It was just a thing that was happening in America prior to Magic and Bird.
Right.
But when they played, you were like, everybody in America was like, and baseball was like, but we started already. Why ain't y'all watching us? It was like, because that's on.
Hey,
have y'all seen what this is?
I remember the portable TVs?
Yes.
I remember we got my dad one for his birthday one year. And my mother was gone somewhere, and so my dad was like, well, I got to take you boys to eat because me and my brother were at home. And so we go up to the steakhouse and take the portable TV, and we sit there
to the steakhouse.
I mean, it wasn't a high end steakhouse. It was a buffet.
It's like Bonanza or something like that.
Yeah, Ryan's.
So Ryan's. I miss Ryan's. I miss Ryan's.
So we went up there with the portable TV and sat there and watched the Lakers and Celtics.
That's awesome. That is incredible. So normally on this podcast, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get us two brothers who love the NBA talking about the NBA in a very candid and honest and as transparent way as we can. But also, you might get some other stuff. Today for sure you're gonna get some other stuff because we are both Kendrick Lamar fans. And so you're definitely going to get some Kendrick Lamar conversation. And there's a little bit of format to it. But we're not gonna worry about that today. Not gonna worry about that today. Because today we're in a new world. Things have changed. A whole new world is taking place right now. I'll start where I was, and you tell me what was going on in your world. So, Kendrick is a longtime sports TV guy. I am a long time sports radio / podcast guy. So we've been doing this both a long time. So I'm prepping on some whole nother stuff for my company, doing some stuff. I'm staying up late working on a project. And as I work on the project, a text comes across my phone that says, Luka Doncic has been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. I immediately think, I'm so sick of Elon Musk's internet, his Twitter. I'm sick of it. All these trolls, he can't get control of it.
You could have stopped at Elon Musk.
Right. Get control of your stuff. Well, I could have just said that. Right. That's a whole nother podcast, though. But it's coming. And so I immediately dismissed it. And then I saw a retweet of it. I said, people are really retweeting this. Because I didn't look to see who sent it. I just saw that it came across. And then I saw that it was saying Shams. Shams Charania, for those who don't know who that is. He is the new Adrian Wojnarowski, as deemed by ESPN. And so and somewhat no, he's kind of knighted by Woj as well. And so I saw it come across, and I saw his name, and I was like, wait a minute, is this real?
Right.
So now I'm like everybody else thinking he got hacked. Surely he got hacked. This cannot be real. I actually saw it, Kendrick, before ESPN saw it. Because I immediately turned to ESPN. I had the same experience Charles Barkley had, for those who have heard Charles' explanation as well. I had the exact same experience. I'm looking at it, but ESPN and no other site, not NBA TV, nobody else has it. So I'm going, this can't be real.
Right.
But why is Shams saying it's real if it's not real? About 2 minutes later, right before they're about to go to commercial break, ESPN announces it, and I said, oh my God. And I've spent the last 3 days in complete confusion because I still don't understand how and why that happened, which is why I'm glad we're having it. We could not have picked a better week to start this podcast.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, you talking about where you were. I was at the Arkansas-Kentucky game in Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
And literally, I get a text from my coworker, Dusty, during the, I'm trying to think, I think it was in between Cal and Pope. He texted
post game, you mean?
The post game press conference.
Right,
yeah, Calipari. I think Calipari had just wrapped up, and I think Pope was on his way up to the podium. and he sent me a screenshot from Sham's tweet, and he's like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "I'm at the game. I don't know. You gotta tell me." I'm just now getting a good enough signal to receive any updates to Twitter, and so I'm like, if it's Shams, it must be real. But I that seems like very an outlandish tweet and trade or whatever, and so I didn't think that much of it, but I did. So, Pope comes up to the podium. Thankfully, he doesn't move very much, so I framed him up, hit record, just start looking at my phone, barely paying attention to anything Pope's saying. And so, and like I've just seen it from Shams, like you, because I'm like, well, if it's real, we'll get an ESPN notification,
right?
Well, ESPN took forever because I don't think they thought it was real, even though it was their guy reporting it, because it took them forever to send out a notification. Even though sometimes they are a little bit slow on their notifications, I've noticed, but they took a while too. So I think they were vetting everything too. But the thing is, Shams is always right. So once because I went back and looked at it, and I went back and looked at the tweet that he sent me, and I was like, oh, that definitely is Shams. This is real. And so then, as you know, it's not as somebody in the business that we're in, we can't wait to tell somebody something that we know. We don't even think if anybody knows. So we get done with all the get done with all the post game stuff. The only thing I'm going to, have you seen this trade? You seen this trade? People are like, is this real? I'm like, Sham said it is real, and so that's all anybody was talking about. Even though we had just been at this monster game that been talking about for months, all anybody talking about in the press room after the game was this trade.
And to your point, that is all anybody has been talking about. There's a Super Bowl happening this week, and I've barely seen any Super Bowl interviews or any commentary about the Super Bowl at all this week. It has all been about NBA, and like I said, we could not have picked a better week to start a podcast because, my God in heaven, it's incredible. So again, since it happened, I've spent the entire week. You guys have seen my Kendrick Lamar tribute, right, with the hat. Can I take it off because it's getting on my nerves now? You know how sometimes you wear a hat and you're conscious of it? I was real conscious of it today. I don't know why. I'm normally not, but I am. Okay. But anyway, since it happened, that's all anybody's talking about. And I've spent the whole week trying to figure out, as a Laker fan and as a journalist, to put it bluntly, what the hell just happened?
Right.
Because I don't truly have a grasp on it. So now let's compare notes. This is one of the things that journalists do. We compare notes a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So the way I've received the story is about 3 weeks ago, over coffee is what I was told. Now how true that is, I don't know, but this is what they're saying. Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka, old friends from the Nike days.
Yeah.
Decided to go to get some coffee. And I guess one of them floated the idea of, would you ever trade Luka Doncic? And Nico said, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. You never know. Stranger things have happened, but you never know. And that never know turned into possibility turned into activity turned into reality. The thing that is the most fascinating to me, Kendrick, and again, the show is called Press and Pros, so this is the press side of it. None of us knew.
Nobody knew.
We didn't hear a word. There was no leakage whatsoever. I think that the discussions were with the owners and those two gentlemen, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That alone is impressive to me.
Because usually I'm inclined, no disrespect, but I'm inclined whenever I hear that LeBron didn't know something to not believe that.
100%.
But
100%. And by the way, I'm still struggling with he didn't hear about it. I'm still struggling with that. But it feels legitimate though. But it feels legitimate this time. Yeah, I agree.
I can't believe it this time because I've listened to so many podcasts. I can't remember which one it was about all of this. And one of the things they were saying was like, well, you know, if you want to keep this under wraps, because the subject was why weren't they shopping it around? Well, if you shop it around, you expose yourself to more leaks. So if you want to do it and just get it done and keep it on the low, that's how you have to do it.
I would argue, Kendrick, the deal does not get done if one more person finds out.
Right.
Yeah, it would. It's because it's too hard to do anyway.
It may have gotten done, but it would have been out there. If one,
I don't know if you can get it done. I don't know if you can get it done because the moment somebody finds out Luka Doncic is available, you're not, hold on, Mavericks. We got a much better package than the Lakers got. We can offer you this. We can offer you that. We can offer you, OKC could offer you 1,000 draft picks. Right? Same thing with Utah. So I don't think you can. I don't think you pull it off. That's just my opinion. I just don't think you can pull it off.
Yeah, and you're probably right. And it's a thing of where it's a thing of where two buddies made a trade. At the end of the day, those two go way back. And I said to the Nike days, and it's a long time ago. I mean, Pelinka's been at the Lakers for how long now? 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so,
which brings us to our first truth moment, Kendrick.
What's that?
You ready for our first truth moment?
Mm-hmm.
Are they really friends? Because in my the Laker fan in me and the journalist in me says Nico's going to get fired.
Nico's probably going to get fired.
He's going to get fired. You got fleeced, my brother.
I don't think he got fleeced. I think he could have gotten more, but
that's all I'm saying.
He could have gotten more.
He
could have gotten more, but like if you look at the roster construction for the Mavericks right now, they look pretty good. When you put Kyrie with AD. And you got Klay Thompson out there on the wing, and you can move AD to his natural position at the 4 because you got Daniel Gafford, and you got PJ Washington coming off the bench. I mean, or you can start him if you want to because PJ can slide over to the 3. You've got a formidable lineup out there that I would contend is probably better than the Lakers right now.
Without question, I think. If you look at it for what it is right now, he did a great job. But that's the problem. But
the thing is down the road, the Lakers
and by the way, the road ain't that far away.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
The Lakers have their succession plans for when LeBron decides to hang it up.
And depending on what happens over the next 24 hours. I don't know. First of all, this has so many layers. So we're going to try to break it down in however many ways we can. But I just cannot fathom giving away a 5-time All-NBA, 5-time All-Star player who literally just got you to the finals last year. It is mind-boggling to me how this happened. And I heard Jalen Rose say this, and I will echo and agree. They're going to build a damn statue for Jalen Rose. I mean, for Rob Pelinka, because this feels like it's not only going to work, it's going to be transcendent.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Other than this, now here's where it gets interesting. $345 million. That's a lot of money.
Right. And honestly, I mean,
that's a lot of money.
Yes, Luka's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite players in the league. But if he's out of shape like they were saying, even though he did look like he was in pretty good shape, I saw him yesterday. But if his injuries, you never, because to me, it feels like there's more going on behind the scenes than we know about. And maybe he just felt like, you know what? If he's doing this now, I don't feel comfortable. What's he going to be doing when he's got $300 more million in his pocket? And so he didn't feel comfortable giving him that money. I'm trying to justify what he did. I wouldn't have. There's no situation in a million years. I don't think I would have gotten rid of Luka Doncic. But listen, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and like I said, right now, as of January 5th at 9:23 a.m.
Oh, February 5th.
Yeah, February.
Yeah.
The Mavericks have the better roster.
You said, Kendrick, I think you said the key thing. As of February 5th, they got the better roster, and we don't know what the real truth is. Mm-hmm. But make no mistake about it, there is a truth, there is an untold truth that is happening right now with this circumstance. And I'm sorry, and this is where we get to have a lot of fun on this podcast, because we are not bound by ESPN's rules or Fox's rules, or we may hope to be one day, depending on how this goes. But for now, we can speak candidly. Something is wrong. And I don't know, Nico, one way or another, I think is going to be fired, either as the villain or the scapegoat. And here's what I mean by that. Either he did this rogue on his own, or he is doing this because the owners, who are not basketball people, they are Vegas people, they are casino people.
People got to remember that Mark Cuban is not the majority owner anymore.
Mark Cuban is not the majority owner. He does not run it. He's not a part of the day-to-day. Mark Cuban is a guy in a seat watching the game.
Yep.
That's what he is now. And so I wonder, is this an ownership group that is looking at the overall arcing bottom line numbers and saying, why am I paying that guy that much money? And they just told Nico, do whatever you have to do to get out of that situation. Because this is a slam campaign if ever there was one.
Oh yeah, but that's
or it feels like it anyway.
That's what they're gonna do, and they talking about him being out of shape and
right,
all of that type of stuff, and his conditioning causing injuries and all of that stuff. And it's easy to say when Luka hasn't played since Christmas, and so. And
by the way, the fan base does not buy it at all. They are.
Oh no! I mean, whenever they create a makeshift memorial at Dirk Nowitzki's
statue, I'm just saying it.
I mean, and if you're a Mavericks fan, I mean, that's a gut punch. I mean, that's like, you know what? I'm changing allegiances type of stuff. I can see.
And by the way,
you're a Mavs fan, you know what? I'm going with Luka.
And by the way, if you're Nico, there's only one path to hold. And unfortunately, Jason Kidd, because by the way, Jason Kidd didn't know about this either.
Mm-mm.
He had no idea this is going on.
Jason Kidd looked like he was being held hostage at that press conference.
He did. I felt so bad for him. I don't know who was in more of a vital or a violent, hostile situation, Jason Kidd or Kanye West's wife. Both of them looked like they were in very dangerous situations.
You look at her and like, blink twice if you're okay.
That's all I was saying. Blink twice. We'll come get you. We'll save you. I don't know. Anyway, there's only one path for Nico to keep his job. They have to win. They have to win a title.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have to win within the next 3 years.
And you have to win within which arguably could end up being in the next year or two the toughest Western Conference we've ever seen.
So the Mavericks are buyers.
Because OKC is no longer coming. OKC is here.
OKC is here. Houston is coming. Houston's coming. San Antonio's coming.
Wemby's coming.
You just resurrected. Right. San Antonio you just resurrected the Lakers, so
hey, Phoenix is still formidable. Golden State, if somebody will answer the phone, they could still be there. And so the Western Conference is ridiculous. I mean, Minnesota's I think that at the end of the day they made a mistake getting rid of Cat, but I think eventually, but Anthony Edwards ain't going nowhere. So
right.
and the best player. and the best player in the league is still in Denver. So, so the Western Conference is as tough of a conference as we've ever seen, and so now you've got even more pressure on yourself if you're Nico.
Well, and then the other thing is you force yourself into the role of the buyer for the next 3 years. You have to be the buyer. You have to continually do something every single day to try to make this roster better, to try to make this roster formidable and great enough to take, probably you at least got to get a top 4 spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's at minimum you got to get a top 4 spot.
That's going to be extremely difficult in this Western Conference because not only are all of these teams good, they're all young.
They're young.
Houston is super young. OKC is super young. Memphis is young. The Lakers.
All of a sudden, the Lakers. No, they're not anymore. They were.
Yeah.
They're old in one spot, but now they're kind of young. Yeah. So it's you. I do not understand it. If this is a rogue move, because it feels like a rogue move. I'm gonna be honest with you, but you can't do it without the owner's approval.
Right, and I think if you pull this off, not getting Austin Reeves out of that too.
Oh.
That's where because you got to get Austin. If you're trading Luka Doncic, you have to get Austin Reeves out of that deal, or at least Dalton Connect, one of those two.
Kendrick, if you're looking at the game last night, and we're recording this on February 5th, which is a Wednesday, so this is even though this is going to be released, I think either Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know what day, but whatever. But if you're watching this, whenever you're watching it, on Tuesday night. If you watched Austin Reeves play on Tuesday night as a Mavs fan, you got to be thinking, and by the way, before I even get to that, you double down by getting rid of Quentin Grimes? Are you high? Is Nico? I'm concerned that Nico drinks on the job at this point. I'm concerned that he drinks on the job because I'm going, bro, that's not an upgrade. That's the same player in a different jersey. That's it. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, the Mavs, in addition to trading Luka Doncic, they traded Quentin Grimes for is it Caleb Martin?
It's one of the Martin twins.
It's one of the Martin kids. But anyway, if you've seen both the guys play. They're basically the same player. There's not much difference. And
Grimes might be a little bit better.
I think Grimes is better.
Because Martin really hasn't done anything since he left Miami, that 1 year in Miami. He had that 1 year with the Heat.
I don't understand what Nico is doing other than to say, brother, maybe, are you trying to get back to Nike? Because you can always quit. You don't have to do this. Just resign. So, now, that's the Mavs side of it. As a Laker fan, I am thrilled. It doesn't even matter to me if we win a championship this year. Could care less at this point. Because the future is bright. It is bright. This feels like a Saquon Barkley grab if ever there was one. Just saying. It's going to work out. It seems like it's going to work out pretty good.
It does seem like it because you do kind of wonder about LeBron and Luka on the floor at the same time because their games are very, very similar.
I don't worry about that at all.
I you know what? If it was a younger LeBron, I would. But this LeBron at this stage in his career, let's be honest, LeBron's been looking to be Robin. He doesn't want to be Batman anymore.
He's 40.
He's 40 years old.
He's 40. I know how I feel when I get up at 50.
Which we have to be reminded that he's 40 every time he farts. But he's looking to be he doesn't want to be the main guy anymore. And that's why on the Lakers side of things, I can understand getting rid of AD. And you and I have been talking. I was like, they need to get rid of one or both of them. Anyway, I've been saying that for a couple seasons because they've got to rebuild and get younger. Now, I didn't expect Dallas to come in and parachute and save them. But they had to make a move between one of those two anyway. And obviously it was going to be AD because you're not going to get rid of LeBron. And so I think this is perfect for LeBron, and I think they'll play fine together. They'll be perfectly fine together. Yeah. Now, at this stage in the career, earlier in the career, no, but right now, yeah, they'll totally work.
And that's what when I was listening to Charles and Barkley and some others say, "Oh man, they're not going to play well." No, yes they will. That's the least of LA's worries with this. The bigger worry is they need a big right now. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want to throw this season away. They may not be completely championship ready yet, but they don't want to throw this season away because this is valuable for Luka and the roster. The deeper they go into the playoffs, right? Right. It's just the experience itself. So that's the more critical thing. But listen. Shout out to Nico, who, by the way, maybe has a gentleman's agreement with his old buddy Rob that if things don't work out for me in the Mavericks, do I have an opportunity to work for the Lakers at some point? Which the Lakers would probably be open to.
I don't know. Jeannie Busman would be like, "You ain't bringing that in here."
But you be bringing that foolishness over here, that tomfoolery. I will. As weird as much as I've about winning them chips, as much as I've crucified Nico, I think it's still and I can't give him an A. I maybe a B minus.
I mean, I'll give him a B. Like I said, I mean, and it's like the thing that's hard about all of this is like Anthony Davis is just getting disrespected left and right. Like this 100%, dude ain't
100%.
Like, come on, this dude he's as far as a big go, he's a top 5 big in the league behind 100%. Joker and a healthy Embiid, right. Which Embiid's never healthy, so you can put AD ahead of him, which is funny because AD used to never be healthy. But he's been AD he's got that reputation. But AD's been playing the last couple seasons. I mean, he's out right now because of an abdominal strain, but he's been playing. He played 76 games last year, and so
he did.
He's fixed that, and so he's getting a bad rap because it's like everybody's so upset about Luka, and understandably so. But let's not act like they traded Luka for a bag of chips.
We didn't sell a scrub, right? We didn't sell a scrub.
They traded a guy who's still in his prime, and is a very good player.
That's the reason it's such a shocking trade. We
right.
traded a really formidable player for a formidable player, right? And so,
I mean, they're both all-stars this year. Starters, all-star starters.
First team NBA from last year. Yeah. So it's as even a trade as you can get in basketball or in any sport. By the way, brings me to this question I'll ask you, because I've been struggling with this one too. I don't have a comparison to this.
There's not. We've never seen two all-stars traded for one another.
Not like this.
Not like this.
The closest I could get to is Shea, but nobody knew Shea was going to be Shea.
No.
Like he wasn't Shea when Paul George was traded for him to the Clippers. He was just a dude that was drafted in the first round that had some talent.
He's a rookie. He's not really. He's playing sparingly, whatever. And a lot of people forget that Shea started his career with the Clippers.
Right. Right.
But there's no precedence for this because big names have moved in blockbuster deals before, but not for one another. Because I'm trying to think back like
because I wanted to say Herschel Walker, but then I said, but nobody knew they were going to get Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin.
They were all draft picks.
It was just draft picks, right? So,
if you go by that frame of things of what the picks ended up being, there's probably some comparable trades. But at the time, you don't know the draft picks.
You don't know
going to do, and so this might be the craziest trade we've ever seen in any sport. Even talking about Babe Ruth being traded from going way back, Babe Ruth being traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees. You don't know who he got traded for. Right. I don't think he got traded for anything. He got traded for something stupid.
I think it was like 20 grand or something crazy like that.
And something else. It was like it was like comparable to the ABA trading people for washing machines.
Right. So I mean, it's a wild trade. By the way, not the only trade that went down.
Oh, because sneakily, that De'Aaron Fox move might end up being the most influential out of all of it.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox with Wemby.
I love that. I love that.
I love it. And they didn't have to give up any of their play. Again, somebody who else got fleeced. The Kings got rid of De'Aaron Fox, and you can't name who they got back.
Yes, I can. Zach LaVine.
Because it's a 3-player trade. It was a 3-team trade.
That's the only thing that saved them, though.
Yes.
That's the only thing that saved
them. The trade wouldn't happen if it wasn't for a 3-team trade.
Because I was kind of impressed by that a little bit, although I don't know. I'm fairly certain that doesn't make them better. I think that makes them about the same.
They're about the same.
Yeah, and because now all you did was just move the Bulls from the East Coast to the West Coast, or from the Midwest to the West Coast.
Yes.
So I don't know, but
that's
at least
somebody talking about Levine and DeRozan have history together. I'm like, yeah, but not good history.
Not good history though. It's not great. It's not a winning history.
I mean, they're fine. Where are they in the standings? I can't see them moving up much higher.
This is the ex. This is the ex that you dated, and y'all go out and hang out. It's fun. It's not anything that it's not somebody you're gonna marry, but it's fun. You go to the movies. You have some good conversations. You have ice cream. It's fine.
They're in the 8th spot right now.
You're not taking her to Dubai. You're not going to a championship with this team. It's gonna be fun. We're buddies. We hang out.
Right, and they may or may not make the playoffs because
they have an understanding.
Because they're in 8th right now, but it's a 1, 2, 3, 4-way.
You got
tie.
an 8th. Oh yeah.
It's a 4-way tie between them, Phoenix, Golden State, and Dallas, with the Spurs 3 games behind them. And so
they're one missed lighting the beam for being out of the playoffs.
And it's wild to think that De'Aaron Fox. When have we ever seen that a player wants to get traded to a team that's behind his current team in the standings?
Well, I guess when you know that once you leave, you're gonna jump that team. I guess it's fine.
And you gotta wonder what's going on in Sacramento.
That's a great question.
Because they have a good fan base, obviously.
They do. They have a great fan base.
But their management it's just been suspect. Yeah. I thought Shaq was supposed to be part of that management.
He got out.
Oh, okay.
He got out. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I don't. Yeah, he got out. I agree with you. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the city itself, where players just grow tired of that in that environment. Because let's be clear, it's the Kings and nothing else.
It's one of the smaller markets in the league. If 100%. Not the smallest, it might be the smallest.
You could make a case, although people in California might crucify us for saying this, but it's the truth. You can make a case that it might be time to light the beam in another city.
No, they get too much support, though.
They get phenomenal support. I just don't know if you can draw, because they've tried it every way you can try it, Kendrick. They've tried free agency. They've tried growing their own. And it's like there's a ceiling. And it just feels like that ceiling is you might every 15, 20 years get to a conference final, but that's about it.
All that comes down to management, because you can't tell me that Oklahoma City is a better place to be than Sacramento.
Historically, it is.
It's all
from
about
a basketball perspective. Historically, it is. They've at least been to the finals.
You know why?
And
the
Western Conference final.
You know why?
Management.
Like I said, it's management. They're better managed.
Better management.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that as a Cowboys fan. Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have better management.
I can definitely relate to that as a Giants fan. Let me just be very clear. By the way, I know this is an NBA podcast, and tomorrow, when we record tomorrow, our other podcast, Believe in the ACC, I just want to let you know we are absolutely talking about that Myles Garrett thing. Let me just, I have very strong opinions about that because that is, wow. To me, this has been one of the most shocking sports weeks of all time. Though that one wasn't as shocking, it was just like, oh, really? You say, sir? Okay.
Amazing how that and Cooper Kupp both came down right after this trade happened.
Listen, because the NFL knows we're getting hosed here. This is supposed to be our week.
Right.
It's supposed to be Super Bowl week.
And for once, the NFL is not getting all the attention.
You know what this is? This is the NBA's payback for how the NFL tried to hijack Christmas.
They have hijacked,
or actually did hijack Christmas.
That's right. I'm glad for the NBA. I'm rooting for the NBA in this situation because the NFL's greed and all their greed. I mean, they playing on Christmas on a win, so they got dudes playing on 3 days rest in the most violent game that there is. I mean, you don't have to have every dollar.
You don't have to have everyone. I mean, God, share it sometimes. Jeez.
I know it's bad enough that you taking over Saturdays from college football, and so once December hits, like it took away from the playoffs. It took away from the college football playoffs.
It did.
And so
it did. 100%.
The national championship was just a fart in the wind at that point, and so their eternal greed and I'm part of it too. I feed into it too. I got the Sunday ticket and I sit there every Sunday and watch Red Zone all day. I mean, I'm part of it. But I mean, their greed is amazing. And so to see the NBA now granted it's a perfect storm of people of Kansas City Chiefs fatigue. And you got two teams that just played the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so there's not going to be as much excitement. There's still more excitement about the halftime show than there is about the actual Super Bowl. 100%. So, I mean that's part of it. It's probably actually, if we're being honest, that's probably the biggest part of it. Why the NBA has knocked them out of the headlines, but still, it's great to see. It's great to see the NBA take the NFL down a notch for once.
Yeah. So as of this recording, we are 24 hours away from the trade deadline. 24 and some change. I think we are headed for some measure of chaos.
I think it's either going to be chaos or nothing. Or we're done. As far as the big names go. Only big names I think that are still out there that could possibly be moved. Jimmy Butler, of course.
Yeah.
Zion. I think Zion could be moved. Zion should be moved. Maybe KD. Maybe.
Hold on. I can't let you go past that. You think Zion should be moved. I don't disagree. Yeah. But where?
What are you getting out of Zion? I don't know where, but if you're New Orleans, you need to get up out of it. You're like, what?
I agree. I agree 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how much you're not going to get a memorial for Zion like you got for Luka. No. They get rid of him.
By the way, Zion absolutely screwed the Pelicans the other day. Did you see that interview? So Zion comes out because the Pelicans had a back-to-back. And he comes out and says in a press conference, and I'm quoting now or paraphrasing, he says, I work for the Pelicans. They feel as though I should not be playing back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, he threw them out.
However, I would love to play a back-to-back. I am able to play a back-to-back, but I work for them. First of all, sir, the fact that they're telling, first of all, that is the most lack of self-awareness statement you could have possibly made. Because the reason why they feel like you can't play a back-to-back is because you don't play at all.
Right.
You're not out there. You've set far more than you've ever played. So let's start with that. They're not wrong. You don't do well in back-to-backs or overtasking your body. Now, I will defend Zion in this way. Part of that is because I think, you talk about management, I think he has been grossly mismanaged by that team. And this is what I mean by that. Now we get into some of the more detailed stuff. I don't think a player of his ilk, size, build, intensity, should be asked to do as much as they have asked him to do. Now, you could argue, well, that's why they brought in CJ. That's why they brought in DeJounte. Yeah, that's why they brought them in now. But when they got Zion, the floated idea was that he's going to be the point forward. Well, I can't be your best dunker, your greatest rebounder, the guy that starts the break, the guy that shoots all your threes, and the guy that passes out the towels and the Gatorade. That's too much.
Well, they wanted him to be LeBron.
But he don't have a body type for that. And he's not interested in, listen, that man likes beignets. He likes gumbo and jambalaya.
I was going to say, he's got a body type. I mean, he's built like LeBron. So, yeah, he does. If he stays
like
in
LeBron,
shape.
if LeBron ate LeBron, like
if he stays in shape, but
that's the problem.
But see, they didn't know about it. They weren't thinking about that part of it. Because you just no way of knowing until he gets there.
Well,
because he only had 1 year in college. The biggest mistake was handing him over the key to the franchise when he first got there in the first place.
But when you see a dude blow his shoe out in college, you got to know he got some nutritional issues. Like, I mean, in the history of basketball, I've never seen anybody blow their shoe out.
But the thing is, we've never seen a body type like that be that explosive. Also true. And which to me, I think part of his injury problem is the human body is not built to be that explosive at that size, and so he's putting all kind of pressure on his joints and muscle tissue and all that stuff. I just don't think medicine is caught up to what that is, at least not in New Orleans. And so, but all jokes aside, I do think a change of scenery for both parties involved would be a good idea. I don't know where Zion fits in because we haven't seen him enough to say, yeah, he fits in there because he doesn't play enough.
Right.
I mean, I can see Golden State taking a hack out of it because they're just trying to get any kind of superstar.
They're so desperate right now.
They're so desperate for a superstar there. Maybe a young team, Houston or Orlando, one of these younger teams coming. Orlando actually might be a pretty good fit. And so,
you mean Paolo? That'd be bad.
And the food scene's not exactly what it is in New Orleans.
More seafood in Orlando than anything. So listen. We're laughing, but there's some truth to that. He needs to go somewhere where he can nutritionally change his options. Like it can't be I can go get whatever I want whenever I want. Because he clearly suffers from a measure of self-discipline. And that's not just a food thing, because as we all know, he's had some other issues that are equally as debilitating to his overall.
So that rules out Houston.
Houston is out. Atlanta is out. Miami for sure is out. There are certain cities we can't trade you to, sir.
Memphis might be out too.
Memphis
food.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking. Right. It's not the scene, but it's a lot of great barbecue in Memphis. It's not a good fit. Not a good fit.
I don't know if you put him on keto, he'd be all right. A lot of proteins.
It's a lot of proteins. I like Orlando. I do like that. I like San Francisco. I think San Francisco could work.
Indiana.
One thing I like, Indiana work perfectly. There's nothing to do in Indiana.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing. There's a Benihana's right down the street.
It's the only city that's got 2 professional teams, and there's more to do in Louisville than there is in Indianapolis.
I think there's like a Benihana's right down the street from
It's McCormick and Schmick's, and it's about
right. Yeah, it's not a lot of options.
And the shrimp cocktail place.
I'd like to see Zion go somewhere where he could reinvent himself, and also the team, Because to me, Zion needs to be more Zach Randolph than he is Ja Morant. He's trying to be the bigger version of Ja Morant. That's not going to, you're not going to last 10 years at that body type playing that way. But you could if you become Baby Shaq or even Zach Randolph and focus on a more low post pivot, that kind of game. You could do that and dominate.
As much as Ja's injured, he can't keep playing like Ja does either.
100%.
I love Ja. It drives me crazy because you don't know if he's going to play from game to game.
100%. He has the most Derrick Rose game since Derrick Rose, and it is Derrick Rose in every sense of the word because it's so violent and so aggressive that you wonder how many more licks can his knees take. At some point,
it's not even just his knees. It's his knees, it's his ankles, it's his shoulder, it's a neck, it's a back. Because he takes all these wild falls because of the way he goes to the basket. I mean, I love it. I love to watch him play. And you really and truly at this stage, you're not going to coach that out of him. And so, because if you take that aggressiveness away, you're taking away Ja. That's who he is. But I don't know.
There's not a middle ground. There's not a balance point.
I mean, Derrick Rose didn't have middle ground until he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, he never found it.
I don't know.
Found it. So Zion or Brandon for you?
Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, or both. You just hit the reset button completely?
Yeah, I think you blow it up.
Because DeJounte's gone. DeJounte's gone. Until next year.
I totally expect CJ to probably get traded in the next day or two. And so, I think you just blow that up. I mean, hell, you sat Brandon Ingram last season. So I just go ahead. If I'm New Orleans, I'd go ahead and blow that thing up. Actually, I'm wondering if teams just don't want them. Reason why they have it in the first place. Because, I mean.
Well, we all got eyes. We can see what they have. You know what's crazy about New Orleans? They didn't actually get it wrong. It just didn't work out.
It just didn't work, right?
Yeah, it just didn't work. They got it right.
They got what should have been a generational player. They put pieces around him. I mean,
good pieces, lots of great pieces.
Yeah, because I mean, they got a lot out of it from that Anthony Davis trade, and so it just didn't work.
It just didn't work.
For whatever reason, injuries and whatever. But yeah, I think they'd be good to go ahead and blow it up.
Yeah. Speaking of blowing it up,
KC and get some picks.
yeah. Speaking of blowing it up, if you believe all the rumors, I don't know if I always do because, people float a lot of stuff out there. I do believe that Golden State is calling everyone, but I wonder about the validity that KD could actually go back to the Warriors.
Well, I'm sure they've made that call.
Oh, they have. I do believe Shams said that when he said they've made the call and there's discussion.
But I just don't think Phoenix's owner is because he's a relatively new owner, and what do new owners do? They want big shiny pieces. Well, KD's a big shiny piece, and so he's not gonna let him go. Maybe the only way he goes is if KD says, "Yeah, I want to get out of here." But we have not heard that from KD.
I'd be stunned if they did that. That would equally stun me as much as this Luka Doncic thing has. Because it makes no logical sense. Because guess what? You can do that. It's not going to change who you are. Right. Just like bringing Jimmy Butler in, it's not going to change who you are. If you can trade Jimmy Butler out for Bradley Beal, so all you've done is trade a somewhat decent offensive player for a somewhat decent defensive player, both aging, and you still have no bench.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have any depth, and so it's a linear move. I do think Jimmy Butler is a slight step up from Bradley Beal, but not big enough to get them over the hump.
Right.
And so
not in the West.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not in the West.
And the Bradley Beal thing is just so weird to me. Because for one, I'm like, why did they give this dude a no trade clause? What has he done in his career to warrant a no trade clause?
The shade, Kendrick, the shade. But you're not wrong.
And I don't even really remember. I don't even mean that as disrespect to Bradley Beal, but like if I'm thinking no trade clause, I'm thinking like the upper echelon of the league. LeBron
having a no trade clause makes total sense.
Yeah, Luka.
Bradley Beal having a no trade clause means that's the weirdest thing ever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it only should be about 5 or 6 players that have no trade clauses. LeBron, the Joker. Luka.
I feel like you should have to qualify for a no trade clause. Like there's certain tiers or things that you should knock off the list. An MVP, you should have at least an MVP, at least 1 or 2 first team All NBAs,
a finals appearance.
A finals appearance. Like there's certain measures that you should hit to get a no trade. You should be handing it out like candy.
All right.
That's crazy to me.
Playing for Washington.
Right. A guy that spent 10 years in futility in Washington should not be able to dictate where his next move is. Like, with all due respect.
I mean, shout out to him for getting it. I mean, hey.
Shout out to him and his agent. That's phenomenal.
But again, that's what happens when you have a new owner. They pulled that deal on Phoenix when they got a new owner. New owners do dumb stuff.
So that brings me back to Phoenix. Should they blow it up?
Yeah.
Because KD's 35. I think Bill is like 31, 32.
I mean, just blow it up and just keep building around Booker. I mean, people are going to want to move to Phoenix. And Phoenix is, weather's perfect.
Yeah.
Devin Booker is an amazing player. Yeah. And he's gotten them to the finals. He got them to the finals without either one of those dudes.
Yeah.
He got them to the finals with DeAndre Ayton. And so I mean, Devin Booker is a great player to build around, but like I said, they've been mismanaged. I'm surprised he hadn't wanted out. I think that speaks to the city of Phoenix more than anything.
Well, let me say this. If they botch this up, I think without question this summer he'll ask for a trade. I think everybody has a threshold. I think everybody has a threshold, man, and they've jerked this dude.
That Supermax usually supersedes that threshold, though. And I think is he up for the Supermax, or has he already gotten it?
No, I don't think he's got it yet. I think he's probably up for it. But I just look at, man,
$300 million would be like, you know what?
I know.
That's why they put it in there. That's why the NBA put it in there to keep players in place.
But to me, Phoenix, I don't understand at all, because you had a championship team when you had Ayton and Booker. That's what everybody's looking for right now. A combo.
Well, Ayton kind of flamed out too.
I mean, did he, or did he just have a coach that didn't get along?
Yeah, but
for whatever reason.
I mean, he's doing okay in Portland. He's not burning down the league in Portland either. He's doing all right. He's fine.
We take him right now.
The Lakers?
Right now.
But you need an athletic. Even though I will contend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do need to get another. But I think Jackson Hayes can be serviceable.
I think so too.
Super athletic.
I think so too. He
hadn't really had a chance. He hadn't really had many opportunities since he's been in the league.
I think so too. Okay. I think his superpower right now is to come off the bench and be what he is, be great. I think that's his superpower.
I don't think he can give you 40 minutes.
Right. That's the thing. I don't think he can give you 35 minutes. I think he's a 25-minute dude.
I think he's in the Anthony Davis ilk of players. Where his
but he's got to build to that. He's got to build to that.
And
he's got to build to that.
And when let's be honest, he's not as talented as Anthony Davis.
No,
but he can be a poor man's Anthony Davis, which is quite serviceable in the NBA.
He could be formidable at some point, but it's gonna take some time. But I agree with you. First of all, let me start to say that we'll close out the Phoenix thing. I think Phoenix needs to blow it up. And if Phoenix is, or the Warriors are saying we'll take KD back and we'll send you an inch ton of stuff, take it. Kuminga, picks, Moody, that's fine. That with Devin Booker at the helm of all of that, you could be competitive in the West until you can get your footing and figure out who and what you want to be. So I think some teams got to be realistic and stop with the win now mentality. And the big three thing is over. So get real about where you are and make some real moves, and let's blow some things up. I think Phoenix is in blow up mode. I think Sacramento is clearly in blow up mode. By the way, Domantas Sabonis, yes please. We'll take that. Yes please, and thank you.
The way Pelinka's making deals now, he can probably get him for a bus pass.
Just saying. Let's make that happen. I think Atlanta is capped out. That's not going anywhere.
Atlanta is perpetually in blow up mode.
Right.
That's where
y'all know the routine. Every 3 years, y'all need to blow it up. Just on GP.
Washington, Brooklyn,
Washington is
Charlotte.
But Washington might be like New Orleans. Do they really have anything anybody wants? Like maybe Kuzma, maybe.
That's about it. Nobody wants Jordan.
Want all that. Nobody wants that.
You can't even name another player outside of those two. Valanciunas.
Only reason I can name Valanciunas is because he might be a nice stopgap as well.
He's just not athletic.
Nice stopgap. He's just not athletic. Right. That's the only problem with him.
Valanciunas is one of the more underrated players in the league.
I agree. Chicago's has blown it up
perpetually in blow up mode.
Lately.
If you think you take away Jordan years, Chicago's always been that team.
Yeah,
except for the Jordan years.
100%. I'm trying to think. That's probably it as far as blowing it up. Though a case could also be, I'd like to see somebody free Scotty Barnes.
Yes.
I hate that kid is trapped in Toronto.
Yeah, nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he's one of the top 20 players in the league.
He is phenomenal. If you've ever seen him play, he is phenomenal. But he is trapped in it. He is the new Kevin Love.
Can you imagine if he got to Golden State?
That's who Golden State should be targeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just said something, sir. You just solved their problem. That's who they should be targeting. That's who they should be on the phone with right now, saying, "What do you need from us to make that's within reason?"
All they got is Kuminga.
Done.
That's all anybody wants.
You can have Kuminga and a couple of first rounds.
Maybe Buddy Hield, but that'd be about it.
Done.
I would like
because Scotty Barnes could make that team interesting.
As a Memphis fan, as long as Ja's there, I'd like to see him there. Put him Jaren Jackson and Ja out there.
That'd be nice.
Because you can put Jaren at the 4 or the 5, and you can put Scotty at the 4 or the 3.
Because Toronto, why y'all doing this to this man? Why are y'all? And he got his money too. That's the other thing. I think he just got a new check, so he is stuck, bro. Like Scotty Barnes is stuck.
Playing with RJ Barrett and quickly. That's it.
That just feels like you trapped in the special class. Like you just can't. No disrespect to people in the special class, but what about LaMelo?
I'm trying to think who it was, but he's a lot.
He is.
I'm trying to think of a
decent point guard.
Contender. I mean, he'd be good in Phoenix, I guess. He'd be good in Phoenix because Phoenix's biggest problem is they don't have a point guard.
They don't have a real point guard.
He'd be good there. He'd be good in Phoenix. He actually probably be good low key in Detroit because they got a good young nucleus up there.
I love what
the thing is Cade's very ball dominant, so you don't really need another ball dominant guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, as far as contenders go, I mean, I guess you can throw him in there as Phoenix. I don't know, because you can build around him. I think that's the thing. It's like he's a guy that you can build around, but and we're going back to bad management and perpetually in rebuild mode. He's just in a bad situation because they got some decent pieces. With Miller being out for the season hurts them, but those two should be something you can build around.
This is happening in real time.
Okay.
The Bucks are working on a Kyle Kuzma deal as we speak. Kyle Kuzma to the Bucks for Chris Middleton.
I see Middleton floating around because he's hurt so much.
I like that actually. I actually like that a lot.
I don't know what Washington's doing, but yeah.
Neither does Washington. It's just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. That sounds good to us. Let's make it happen. Also, Mark Stein is saying there is now rising belief in a KD trade. Suns showing greater willingness to talk Durant move. So here's what I think is happening with that, Dan, based on what I just read. I think KD is seeing the writing on the wall himself. And if you know his patterns, he's not a loud dude, but he will go have a conversation with an owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what this is. I think this is KD saying, clearly you people don't know what you're doing. I don't want to be a part of mediocrity nor stupidity. So why don't we just quietly let me go and get what you can for me while my value is very, very high? Which brings me to this question to you, Kendrick Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to like this, though. I'm just telling you now, you're not going to like it. And the people watching this, they're not going to like it. Can KD truly be considered a top 5 player?
Yes. Come on.
Of all time, I mean.
Of all time? He's top 5 scorer of all time.
Thank you. See, this is why I love you, bro. Scorer, undeniable, for sure.
Yeah. KD can play into his 50s with the way he plays.
Undeniable, for sure. But when
and
you
he's
start
always going to
talking
be able
about
to make that shot. But all around, I mean, no.
From all the metrics that define an all-time great, it's hard to put him there. It's very, very hard.
I give him top 10. I don't know about top 5.
I will generously and benevolently give him top 10. But that's without thought. That is completely without truly.
Here's the better question. Here's a better question.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you put him ahead of Steph all time?
No, not at all. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm alluding to, because the metrics that by which you measure an all-time great, scorer, defense, but also the stick-to-itiveness of staying with your team and leading your team to the greatness that we define the all-time greats by, he has not done that. Yeah. And doesn't seem interested in doing that. Has no desire. The best thing about him going to Golden State was that he didn't have to lead ish. Mm-hmm. That was the best part of it.
Well, the thing is like we didn't know this about him at the time either.
Right.
Because he had been in OKC the whole time.
100%.
So trying to think because top 5 is obviously Mike, LeBron, Kobe, Magic. Yep. Mm-hmm. Put Bird in the top 5. I think you got to see. I used to hate Bird when I was a kid, but like now that I'm older, and I can appreciate this game. But I think I got to get a big in there. I think I got to get Wilt or Kareem in there before I get
Wilt, Kareem, or Shaq. One of those 3. You know what's funny?
I wouldn't put Shaq in my top 5.
You would not?
No.
Really?
Most dominant, yes, but
What's the thing that's keeping him out of your top 5?
well, part of it is kind of the era he played in. Like once Olajuwon retired, there was no centers in the NBA except for David Robinson.
Right, right.
Um,
By the way, one of the most disrespected players of greatness of all time is
Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon, and he
no,
may be number one.
I thought you was gonna say David Robinson.
But they're 1 and 1A. They are 1 and 1A because they were both brilliant. They were both brilliant players.
And I love Shaq, but I can't. I'm not gonna put him above Kareem.
You know what? Ooh, I can make a pretty solid damn case for Steph being in the top 5. I can make a pretty solid case. That's almost indefensible. Almost.
It's defensible. It's defensible.
It's almost indefensible, bro. Because when you start to really look at the metrics of Steph,
because the thing is then you gotta go older school. Like, I mean, Oscar Robertson, he's gotta be up there.
Yeah, but Oscar never got it done by himself.
But he averaged a triple double, and
he did. And so did Russell Westbrook. What does that mean?
Steph didn't get it done by himself either.
Well, he didn't get all of them done by himself, but then neither did Kobe, and then neither did Mike.
So nobody does. I mean,
that's exactly
the big discrepancy in all of sports. Nobody does it.
I'm saying. Steph's got a solid case. Steph isn't far from the top 5. He's got to be. You can't go past 7 without mentioning his name.
Would you put him ahead of Bird?
I would have to, and I hate to say that because I hate Bird and I love Bird all at the same time, but Steph did not play with 7 Hall of Famers.
True.
So
he played.
I'm just saying.
In the Bird argument, yeah, he played with 7 Hall of Famers, but he was the best out of the Hall of Famers.
He was the best out of the Hall of Famers, without question. I'm telling you, you can mount a pretty solid argument for Steph. You really can. And it's weird because I never thought I would be able to say that he was a top 5 all-time player until he beat Boston. And then I said, and he and Jordan Poole were the sole reasons why they won that series. Jordan Poole coming off the bench, mimicking everything that Steph did, and Steph just going bananas.
Yeah.
That was it. So, I don't know. And then you throw in the Olympics, what he just did in the Olympics.
Yeah. And plus the most underrated part of Steph's game is how good of a scorer he is in the paint. He doesn't get near the amount of credit that he should for that because he is
right.
And I mean, there's been years when he's been leading field goal percentage in the paint. Steph. And so,
I'll say this: Steph Curry gets the flack for destroying or creating what is this modern day NBA. And they say, "Oh, he's destroyed the league."
But you know what?
That's not true.
But you know what? To me, that's a credit for him because that means he changed the game.
100%.
And which then that puts him in there because it's only a handful of players that you can say that guy changed the game. Steph, Mike, Kareem.
Yeah.
They outlawed dunking in college basketball because of Kareem, young people.
When you change the game,
there was a point in time when you were not allowed to dunk in college basketball because of Kareem.
That's exactly right.
So
I say
and Larry and Magic, of course. So
I say Steph didn't hurt the game. Your misinterpretation of what he was doing hurt the game because you thought all he was a 3-point shooter. But to your earlier point, no, Steph is a complete and solid ball player. His handles are great. His inside, his paint presence is great. And he's the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. That's what makes him. I'm telling you, I can make a solid case for this dude.
You winning me over. I'm
just saying.
As somebody who's been a Steph fan from day one, because like I said, his ball handling is as good as AI's. He's the best shooter ever, and at only 6'3", he's one of the best finishers at the rim that we've ever seen, field goal percentage wise. You
Yeah.
can now you can create, you can knock his defense, but a lot of that too is just they just put bigger players on him because
Right.
he's 6'3", and so which is funny because a lot of people don't even realize that. A lot of people don't realize he's 60. He ain't 160 pounds on him wet no more. You look at that.
Yeah, he's got a little bigger. He's got a little bigger. Yeah, he's got a little thicker.
Steph's arm. Steph's got some.
Steph's kind of yoked a little bit. Shout out to Steph.
But it was funny. Did you see the comparison the other day when they was talking about NBA players compared to their heights compared to NFL players?
Yes, I saw that.
Like
That was
Steph
fantastic.
would be one of the tallest receivers in the league.
that I saw that. That was fantastic because a lot of people will look at say like a Steph or a Jalen Brunson. And you say, "Oh man, he's so little," or even Chris Paul. People think Chris Paul is little. Chris Paul is 6'1".
Yeah, Chris Paul my height.
Chris Paul is 6'1". So
solid.
let's not get it twisted. These guys are big guys. So anyway, okay. So we're gonna close the basketball segment out with this question. When we return to do this podcast next week, there will have been 3 shocking trades. Luka AD, De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, and I got you on that one, didn't I?
Shocking or big name? Because at this
Big
point,
name shocking. I think it's.
nothing shocking. Nothing shocking.
Well, you know what? Nothing's gonna shock us more than Luka. So okay, let's say big name. What big name player will not be at their current location?
I'm gonna go KD. Just based off what
you know what? I think where there's smoke, where there's this much smoke, there is fire.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Ishbia is probably thinking, I have grossly misjudged this league. I've probably approached. Is James Jones still there running it as GM?
I believe so.
I think he is, and I think James lost a little bit of control these last couple of years. But I think the reality of what happened, even with the Luka trade, has brought Matt Ishbia back and made him realize, okay, I've approached this wrong.
It better if he wants to win, because
if he wants to win,
James Jones did a great job of putting that roster together that got him to the finals.
If you leave the man alone and let him do his job, he'll get you what you need. And so I think you are 1,000% correct. I think a KD trade will also accompany how Jimmy Butler ends up there. And that's how the Warriors get their guy without having to give up the farm.
What I've yet to figure out is why is Jimmy Butler so dead set on Phoenix in the first place?
That is, I think, only one reason and one reason only. Because Matt Ishbia came out and said, I'll pay him his money. I will extend him. I'll give him what he wants. And I think that's the only reason. Because other than that, it makes no sense. You're not leaving to a better situation.
No.
So, yeah.
It's not about winning, because him immediately saying he's not going to Memphis lets you know it's not about winning, because he'd be the perfect piece for Memphis. So him saying he's not going to Memphis lets you know that it's not about winning.
Right.
It's just about getting money.
He's trying to get his last big check. And I don't know. I feel a way about that, but also I understand it.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah, I understand it. So, okay. So the final thing that we'll always do on the show is called the other thing. We'll call this the other thing. And the other thing we want to talk about today is one of our favorite. If you will get to know Kendrick and I very well as this podcast unfolds. Our other thing that we love to talk about, if you look at our text chain, you'll see it. We love to talk about Kendrick Lamar. We are both admitted stans of Kendrick Lamar. We love it. We love the music. We think he is, without question, a top 2, top 3 MC all time. And he may be number 1. I don't know.
It's blasphemous to say anybody other than Pac and Biggie anymore.
Listen, right? Listen, these days it's either Pac, Big, or Jay. But I'm telling you, this last year Kendrick has made a solid case for his number oneness of all time. Especially Sunday night. Listen, can we just, before we get to the last thing we want to talk about, I don't think you can have a more embarrassing night
when you're not there
than what Drake had Monday night.
Did you see how his entrance to his concert the other night?
I did.
With the bullet holes. I'm like, that's, to me, that's admitting defeat.
It's admitting defeat, but also, fam, you did this to yourself.
Right.
Nobody did this to you. You did this to you. You started this. You can't go to the playground, hit the weakest, hit what you thought was one of the weaker kids.
Hit the shortest kid.
Hit the shortest kid. Let's go with the shortest kid. Hit the shortest kid, then the short kid whoops your ass, and then you mad. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You started this. So this is a long week for Drake. Let me just tell you. This will be the longest week of his life. But I had a revelation this morning, Kendrick, that you will appreciate. This week it started with because roughly 50 to 60 million people watch the Grammys every year. Roughly. Somewhere between 30 and 50. And you just watch your chief rival, because you have 5 Grammys. For all of the albums that you've put out, you have 5 Grammys if you're Drake. You just watch your chief rival win 5 Grammys in one night. off one song. And the song was about calling you a pedophile. And oh, by the way, shout out to the DJ that night who clearly rehearsed the march up from... I am 100% sure that DJ had somebody sit in where Kendrick was going to sit in the audience and walk up there, and he timed, because you could not have timed that A minor any more perfect than as he's grabbing the Grammy, the building says A minor. That's on a record of the year win. Come on, man. That's a bad night.
And Kendrick's got on the Canadian tuxedo too.
And he's got the Canadian, which by the way was delivered. You know it was delivered.
You know it was delivered.
You know it was delivered. So that's how he's starting his week. He's ending that's how he's starting his week. He's ending his week with the man performing in front of 100 million people at the Super Bowl. Where the song where a whole stadium of people will say A minor.
And people sit at home.
At home, saying A minor. All of us together in unison. But here's the revelation I had before I get to the last thing I want to do. Because I'm saying to myself, well, after Sunday it'll be over. But then I thought about it. It won't. Because then he's going to go on tour. For the next 6 months. Stadium tours where in every city in America and twice in Canada.
One of them on Father's Day.
On Father's Day, people are going to be saying A minor. So for 18 months, people are going to be called. John Lennon's son won a Grammy this past Sunday. And at the end of his speech, he said, I was told I need to give some advice to the kids. So here's my advice. Don't pick a fight with Kendrick Lamar.
Right. Because I have a buddy who's not a Kendrick fan. He doesn't like Kendrick at all.
Right.
But I'm like...
Which I question your friendship, by the way, at that point.
I tell him he just has poor taste in music, and I don't never want to hear his music opinions. But... Really? He had finally admitted, it took him a while, he finally admitted that Kendrick won. And he's like, man, he won't let off Drizzy. I was like, that's because he's letting everyone else know.
Right. That's a great point. Now it's not even about Drake anymore. Now it's like, oh, and by the way, to the rest of you.
Right. Like
don't come for me unless I send for you.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
All
fine.
this is at this point is leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Actually, it's leave me the hell alone. Just leave me the hell alone. That's what it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So with our last thing, the 5 songs you know for sure he's doing this weekend. Let's take not including Not Like Us. We know he's doing Not Like Us. The 5 songs you know he's doing or you would like for him to do this weekend.
Let's see. We know he's doing Luther because they already showed Sizzle.
Yeah, I think Luther's got to be it, right?
Luther's going to be
in there. I think Luther's got to be it. Yeah.
Be Humble will probably be in one of them.
I think so. By the way, I got a surprise for you tomorrow on Unbelieve.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Maybe We Gonna Be All Right.
I thought about We Gonna Be All Right. Yeah.
I wonder if
but he's so political, and I saw the American flag in the original.
That's why I say We're Gonna Be All Right. It's gonna be up there.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
I think he'll do something off Mad City. He may do Money Trees.
I thought about Money Trees. Yeah.
It's funny if he did Poetic Justice.
That's a good. That's another one. Yeah.
There could be a verse from Poetic Justice in there, or at least
he might. Yeah, he may do like a montage. So I went with I Love Myself. I can see because that's if I can say it this way, that's white friendly, and I think it's got the guitar. It gives him an excuse to bring a rock element in. So I thought about
I think that's a Taylor song. I think Taylor comes out.
No. You know why? Because I think Kendrick knows for the culture and for others that look like us, I can't mix this moment that way. Not that he don't like Taylor. I just think he's too calculated.
He obviously likes him.
Either that or she's as sick. I've never seen an entire industry tell one man, we're sick of you. That was the first time I saw
Taylor been riding with Kendrick for a long time, though.
That's true.
I mean, there's a video of her rapping to Pimp a Butterfly. So, she's been riding for a long time.
I think either Squabble Up or TV Off makes an appearance.
Squabble, those two, those two make an appearance.
One of those two is going to make an appearance.
He'll probably come out to TV Off because he's going to come out yelling mustard.
Yeah, he's got to yell mustard. Two things got to be yelled on Sunday: A minor and mustard. They got to make an appearance.
And I'm almost willing to bet that either Southern or Grambling or both bands will be involved.
I would love to hear the band. You know what I would like? I would like for him to do for me, Lloyd. I would love to hear the band play Whacked Out Murals. Mm-hmm. And get those horns going.
And when he's like, that's gonna be his intro.
Yeah, kick it all off with Whacked Out Murals would be so amazing for me. For me, that's just for me, Lloyd. I don't know. Other than that, I think you've named every. Humble could probably be played. I gotta believe Humble's gonna make it.
You know, it would be dope.
Maybe swimming pools. Maybe I don't know how that fits, but
it fits perfectly considering what it's just about getting drunk.
That's what I'm saying because it's a party kind of song. So I was thinking.
I wonder though. Do they do "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe"? And Jay comes.
I was thinking that. I was thinking the remix of that.
Jay-Z's on. This is the last one where Jay-Z's controlling the.
I was thinking that. I would love, but you know what? As much as I like that, I'm gonna tell you something. What I would really love that would just really set it off for me. I would love to see him do Mad City for one reason and one reason only, because I'd love to see MC8 get an opportunity. Because to me, that is the greatest MC8 verse ever. Like, there's no greater MC8 verse. You know? And so, to me, just to Lloyd, you know, just to me.
The Menace to Society song is a pretty good song.
Fantastic song. Fantastic song. Right. Fantastic song. But the reason why I said to me that's the greatest is because to that point, we didn't know MC8 had that in his bag. We thought MC8 was one. Right, he had been gone. So we're like, well, MC8's kind of a one-note dude. He's got a one thing. And when he brought that out, you were like, yo, oh, you're a real MC. Like, you got multiple clubs in the bag. I got you. Okay, cool. So I'd love to see him bring MC8 out. Any other guest appearances that you'd like to see other than SZA? You know there's going to be some. You know there will be some.
You know SZA's coming out.
SZA's coming for sure. I'd love to see Doechii make it. I'd love to see Doechii come out and just do whatever.
I can see Doechii coming out, especially coming off the Grammys.
By the way, did I not tell you that Doechii is...
You did tell. You put me up on game on Doechii.
Insane. Yeah. I think Doechii is going to change women's hip hop. I think she's going to put so much pressure on these young ladies to be better lyricists.
And to change their content.
Yes.
We don't need one Lil Kim, two Lil Kims is fine. We don't need everybody being Lil Kim.
Right. She's going to force y'all to bring your A games. Or you're going to get ready out of town.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my thing about Meg. Yeah. I love Meg's delivery. I love Meg's voice. And I mean, she can go. But every song's the same thing over and over. I got money, nigga, you better have... It's the same thing over and over. Same with Nicki. I love Nicki's voice. I love her delivery. Same thing over and over. I'm like, y'all have got to have something else to talk about.
Might as well throw Cardi in there too.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
It's all the same. And like, I don't even get me to the other ones like Ice Spice and all that stuff.
I put all of them. It's done. It is done.
All the same.
It's done.
Get some content. Live some life. Now have something else to talk about.
Yes. It is done. Bucks have acquired Kyle Kuzma as part of a deal from the Wizards for Chris Middleton. It is done. Kyle Kuzma is now Buck.
I don't think that makes them better.
It does nothing. Means absolutely nothing. I can argue they got actually worse.
Well, you know,
because he doesn't have the IQ. He doesn't have the IQ that Chris Middleton had.
Right. He does have knees though.
He has better knees. Good knees. Good knees.
Kyle Kuzma's character arc needs to be studied. He went from one of the most underrated players in the league to the most overrated player in the league. And got to overrated by playing in Washington.
That is
making the playoffs.
That is one of the most accurate assessments of a player I think I've ever heard. He went from the underrated to completely overrated and way overvalued. Like the fact that the Bucks got together in a room and said, "Our missing piece is Kyle Kuzma." Pretty much tells you all you need to know about the Bucks.
Kyle Kuzma is famous because of social media.
And them big puffy coats he wears.
Yeah, and all that social media stuff. That's all that is.
Yeah.
And this dude is valued.
Yeah. Crazy.
You might sell a couple more jerseys, you'll get a couple more hits on your website, but he's not gonna make you win a title. That move is, like you said, that's one of those moves that's like when they have the list of trades that happen, that's not on the top of the page.
This is the equivalent of you. This is the equivalent of you sitting with your wife, and she says, "You know, we've had a blue door for years. We should probably get a red door." You're like, "I don't care."
It's not even the conversations I have in this house.
Hilarious. I love it. Listen, if this is what this podcast is going to be, y'all are in for it. This is going to be so much fun. week in and week out, we're going to try to give you two pretty solid journalists our interpretation of what is going on the NBA. We hope to have some guests come on. We got to get our boy Charlie Ward on.
Charlie will be on.
Friend of the pod. Charlie will be on at some point. We're going to get some other guys on as well. And we're just going to talk b-ball. I was thinking our guy CL. We got to get CL. CL will have a good time with us.
CL. I'm the one that broke the news to CL. So.
What was CL's thoughts on this?
He's like, is that real? And he's like, oh, come on, man. But then he had to go. So, yeah.
Love CL. Yeah. We're big CL fans. So you'll get a chance to know our friends.
My guy, Kyle Draper, who's the play-by-play guy for the Kings.
Nice.
We'll get him on whenever he's on the East Coast. And so, we'll get some people on.
So we got some people coming. Trust us. We're going. This show is going to be fun. We're going to do some great interviews. We're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time. So for sure, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Be aware. And from time to time on this particular channel, we'll break news ourselves. Like we'll go live, or we'll send out a quick thing of, hey, this is happening. You need to be aware of it. Blah 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 blah. Trades, whatever. We're not doing that this week because it's too many trades. Right. That are going to happen in the next 24 hours. That
turn around looking at my TV every 2 seconds.
I got things to do this week. I ain't got time to be breaking all the trades. Y'all trust Shams with all of that this week. But we're going to have a good time, and I hope you guys have a good time, too. In the tradition of Noise Media and Entertainment, we always end every show with shout-outs. So, Kendrick, who you shouting out this week?
Well, since it's the NBA show, let's shout out Bronny James. Got his first career 3-pointer last night. I was happy for him. I root for this kid because I think he gets a lot of unnecessary heat just because, he got in the league. Most likely he's in the league because of his daddy. But that's not his fault. This kid's just living his life playing basketball. So shout out to Bronny James making his first career 3-pointer, and hopefully there's many more to come.
There is an alternative to Brian James, and I'm looking at you, Marcus Jordan. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Get your life together.
Just saying. If the worst thing this kid has done is followed his dad's footsteps and he's used a little nepotism, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
Get your life together, Marcus Jordan.
Great. Seriously.
Train wreck.
Fam.
Got all the advantages in the world, bro.
Fam. Get it together. Okay. All right. For me, my shout out again, I have to as a Laker fan. Shout out to the great Nico Harrison. You are the real MVP, my guy. You are the real MVP, and I want to salute you, my guy. You are. That was
you know how much that trade affected me. You know I'm a 2K player, and I play on the GM mode. I don't play with people. I was on the final month of my season. I'm about to start it all over again because of these trades.
That's right.
I'm not getting back on until Thursday.
Yeah. There you go. And I think we have to give a collective shout out to Top Dog Entertainment, TDE. What a night. I know we talk about the Kendrick stuff, but shout out to Kendrick, Doechii, and SZA. All won Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good night.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're doing something right as a label.
Yep.
It's a good night. So
I had no idea that Doechii was that flexible. This is the stuff we can say when Charlie's not around.
I didn't see that coming. Gotta be honest. Didn't see that one coming. You caught me off guard. That was good. Listen, Doechii is. I'm a stan of Doechii as well. To me, Doechii is what I thought Rhapsody was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
She's what I thought, because I love Rhapsody, but Rhapsody does not have one song, and I love Rhapsody, but she doesn't have one song to me that is that song.
Mm-hmm.
And
because I've heard Rhapsody here and there. I really haven't heard all that much from her because she just doesn't put out much music.
She doesn't put out much music, and she's super talented, and she's a phenomenal lyricist. But she's never cracked that one code. Mm-hmm. Now, Also juxtapose Doechii to you mentioned Nicki earlier. I liked Nicki in the very beginning, but as you continue to listen to Nicki, you realize you're just kind of repeating yourself.
That's what I was saying.
Like that's the same song.
It's her, Meg, all of them. Cardi.
That's the same song, same lyrics with a different beat.
Yep.
Right. So Doechii is the evolution of those guys. Mm-hmm. And she's and it's not lost on me that her mentor is Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
That makes sense because
what's annoying and what makes me mad about those other two, Meg and Nicki, is like you hear the talent, you know they got the talent to do something else. You don't have to do the same song over and over again. But at the same time, it sells, and that's all that matters.
I mean, I think that's their mentality. It sells, and what are we supposed to do? Yeah. We're making millions, so
But like Meg, you ain't gonna be able to twerk like that when you get to 40.
No. you got good knees today. But
right.
you keep doing them butterfly moves, them knees, girl. You're gonna find yourself knee-less. having to get a knee replacement.
Yeah, you're gonna have to add something to your bag.
But take some sea moss or something.
What do we know? We're old. What do we know?
That's the best part about this podcast. Got two old guys talking about sports because we know shit. See what I did there? Also something we wouldn't be able to do, Charlie. Okay. Appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you next week. I think this is going to drop either later today or tomorrow. I don't know, but whenever it does.
Probably needs to drop before the deadline. Because everything's going to be different after this.
It'll drop today. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.